Mom yelled, "You're ungrateful. Get out." So I quietly packed my things. Weeks later, Dad messaged, "Why didn't you cover the mortgage?" I simply replied, "I was told not to come back." And suddenly, everyone lost it. As always, hit that subscribe button to keep the channel alive and never miss out on a crazy story. My name is Liam. I'm 28, and about 7 months ago, I walked out of my family's home thinking I'd never come back. I didn't slam the door, didn't raise my voice, and didn't even bring much, just a backpack with a couple of outfits and my laptop. I had hit my limit. I was exhausted, and I was done. Now here I am, sitting in my new apartment, staring at my phone as it lights up with text after text from my parents. Their names flashing across the screen felt like some cruel joke. It was kind of funny, almost, but not really. But let's rewind, because if you're reading this, you probably want to know what led up to this. Growing up, affection in our house came with strings attached. My parents weren't physically abusive, but emotional warmth was always conditional. I was the dependable one, the quiet, rule-following kid who never caused trouble or stirred things up. My older brother, Caleb, he was the favorite. He got away with everything, even when he messed up. When he dropped out of university, my parents said he just needed time to figure things out. When he got fired from job after job, they said the corporate world didn't appreciate his creativity. When he moved back in at 31 with no work and no plan, they said the economy was just tough. Meanwhile, I had started working at 17, paid my way through school with scholarships and side jobs, and landed a job in tech right after graduation. I never once asked them for financial help. Caleb, on the other hand, constant handouts. And guess who they turned to when they started falling behind on the mortgage? You guessed it, me. At first, I didn't complain. I could afford to help, and they were my parents. They never directly asked for money, but their guilt tactics were subtle and relentless. My mom would sigh dramatically every time I visited, talking about how hard things had been and how they were just short this month. My dad would casually bring up how Caleb was really trying, but just needed a bit more support. I saw through it, but I still gave in. It began with small help, covering utility bills here and there. Then it turned into weekly grocery runs. Then they asked for help with the mortgage, just temporarily. That temporary help turned into monthly payments. Soon enough, I was paying almost everything, except their car loans. And Caleb? He was at home gaming all day like some unbothered roommate. I clenched my teeth and kept going because I thought, this is what family does. But 7 months ago, everything finally blew up. It was a Sunday. I had just finished a brutal week at work. I stopped by my parents' place like usual, groceries in hand, because I knew they hadn't bothered to shop again. I walked through the door, arms full, and saw my mom sitting on the couch, arms crossed, that tight-lipped look she got when she was ready to argue. Caleb was there too, lounging and tapping on his phone like always. My dad was in the kitchen, already shaking his head like I'd disappointed him just by walking in. I barely had time to say hi before Mom said, "Liam, we need to talk." That phrase was never good news. I put the bags down, already tired. "About what?" Dad stepped in. "We've been talking, and we think it's time you contribute more. You make decent money," he added, "and it's not right for us to be struggling while you live alone and spend freely." I blinked, stunned. I already am helping. Mom rolled her eyes. "A couple of bills here, and there isn't enough." I clenched my fists. "I've been covering your mortgage for 2 years. That's not a couple of bills." Then Caleb, who hadn't said a word, chimed in. "Come on, man. They've done a lot for us. It's just money." I snapped my head toward him. "Us? I don't see you paying a damn thing." That set Mom off. "Don't speak to your brother like that. He's trying his best." I let out a cold laugh. "Trying? He's doing nothing. Literally nothing." Dad cut in sharply. "We're asking you to step up. If you were a good son, you'd take responsibility." That's when something in me finally broke. I had sacrificed everything, my savings, my time, my sanity, and it still wasn't enough. I inhaled slowly. "Let me get this straight. You want me to take over everything, mortgage, bills, while Caleb sits around doing nothing. And you think that's fair?" Mom said, "We just assumed you'd want to help your family." "And what's Caleb then?" I asked quietly. "A houseplant." Caleb sat up. "Man, screw you. I never asked for this." "No," I said, picking up my bag. "But you've been living pretty comfortably because of it." Mom stood, her voice rising. "If you walk out that door, don't come back." I paused, looked her in the eyes, and smiled faintly. "Okay." Then I walked out. No dramatic exit. No shouting match. Just silence. I ignored the messages and found my own place. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I could breathe. But today was different. After 7 months of silence, I got a message from my dad. "Why haven't you paid the mortgage this month?" I stared at it for a second, then let a bitter chuckle slip out. I typed back, "Oh, I thought I wasn't welcome?" Then all hell broke loose. My phone buzzed nonstop. Text from Mom. From Dad. Even from Caleb. I didn't respond. Not right away. I just watched as the screen lit up again and again. I knew what they'd say. Mom would be angry, playing the victim. Dad would try to be reasonable, then angry when I didn't cave. Caleb would probably try to shift blame or pretend like he had no role in any of this. Eventually, curiosity won out. I picked up my phone and started reading. Mom, how could you do this to us? The bank called. We're behind on the mortgage. Are you really this heartless? Dad, Liam, this is serious. If we fall behind, we could lose the house. Call me. Mom again, we raised you. And this is how you repay us. Dad, grow up. You're not a child. We need you. Caleb, bro, really? You know they're broke. You're just being petty now. There it was. The guilt trip, perfectly on schedule. I could have replied immediately, but I didn't. Instead, I let them sweat. Let the panic build. Let them sit in the consequences of their actions. 20 minutes later, another wave of calls. I let them all go to voicemail. Then Caleb texted again. Pick up. This isn't funny. Funny. That's exactly what I thought it was. For years, I poured money into that house. And now, the second I stopped, the whole thing fell apart. What were they even doing all this time? I finally replied. Not my problem. 10 seconds later, Mom called again. This time, I answered. She was already yelling. You can't just abandon your family, Liam. You know we need you. I kept my voice calm. Oh, like how you expected me to keep footing the bills while Caleb sat around all day? Don't talk about your brother like that, she snapped. He's having a hard time. I laughed. He's been having a hard time for over a decade. Meanwhile, I work myself sick trying to keep you all afloat. She fell silent for a moment. I kept going. You told me not to come back. So I didn't. And now that the money stopped, suddenly I matter again. You're punishing us, she hissed. After all we did for you. No, I said. I walked away when it became clear you only valued me for my paycheck. Then Dad's voice came through the line. He must have taken the phone. Liam, he said quietly. We just need help. Just this month. If you don't step in, we might lose the house. And something sharp twisted in my chest, but it wasn't guilt. It was fury. Because once again, they were doing what they always did. Pushing, manipulating, and expecting me to clean up the mess. They tried to flip the script, make me the villain just for finally drawing a line, but I wasn't falling for it this time. I let out a slow breath through my nose. Then sell the house, I said flatly. I heard my mom explode in the background, her voice shrill. We can't sell. This house is our legacy. I shrugged, though they couldn't see me. Sounds like that's your issue, not mine. My dad inhaled sharply, obviously trying to keep from losing his temper. Nico, be reasonable. We only need a little help while we figure things out. Figure things out. I repeated, tone icy. You mean like getting Kyle to finally contribute? Or figuring out how to guilt trip me again into bailing you out? Enough, Dad snapped. I'm done asking nicely. You're our son, and it's your duty to help. I felt a bitter smile creep across my face. There it was, their true colors. Not panicked, not helpless, just entitled. Well, I said, drawing it out. You'll just have to figure this one out yourselves. Then I hung up. Almost instantly, the messages came flooding in, from Mom, from Dad, from Kyle. Angry, desperate, insulting. I didn't care. For the first time in years, I felt like I was breathing fresh air. Still, something in my gut told me this storm wasn't over, not even close. A few hours passed. I was stretched out on the couch, flicking through random channels, actually enjoying the silence. Then my phone rang. I groaned, already guessing who it was. I checked the screen and actually laughed. Kyle again. I let it ring. Voicemail came in a minute later. I hit play on speaker, purely for my own entertainment. Dude, Kyle began, his voice low and trying to sound menacing, like some dollar store mobster. You really messed up this time. Mom's bawling. Dad's losing it. You gotta call them and fix this. I rolled my eyes. Fix this. Like I'd torched the place instead of just stepping down from my forced role as the family piggy bank. I was about to delete it when Kyle's voice dropped even lower, like he was about to deliver some life-altering ultimatum. You're being selfish, man. You think you're making a point, but you're just tearing the family apart. If you don't pay the mortgage, I swear I'll. Click. I deleted the voicemail before he could finish. Kyle was always full of empty threats. What was he going to do? Demand cash louder? Plead harder? Before I could even set the phone down, another text came in, this time from Dad. You don't understand how serious this is. If we lose the house, you'll have nowhere to come back to either. I laughed. Come back? Did they think I was going to crawl back if they ignored me long enough? I texted back. Seems like I'm doing just fine without it. That must have hit a nerve, because 2 seconds later, my phone lit up again. A call from Mom. Against my better judgment, I picked up. No greeting, no preamble. Just yelling. I hope you're proud of yourself, Nico. The bank gave us days. Days. before they start the repossession process. How could you do this to us? I stifled a yawn. Oh, you mean the house I was apparently banned from? That one. Don't you dare mock me, young man. Oh, I dare, I said coolly. I really, really do. She let out a choked noise, half gasp, half snarl. I kept going, tone mockingly sweet. Let's recap, shall we? A couple of weeks ago, you told me I was ungrateful and to get out and never come back. So I did. And now you're mad at me for doing exactly what you said. That's not the point. Oh, I think it is, I replied. You don't understand, she pleaded. This house is everything to us. You grew up here. Funny, I said. Seems like it's only one paycheck away from collapsing. Wonder whose that was. Silence. And while we're at it, I continued. What was the plan here? You've known for years I was covering the payments. What if I got sick? Lost my job? Did you just assume I'd bankroll you forever? More silence. I let out a dramatic gasp. Oh no, don't tell me. You didn't think that far ahead. Mom inhaled sharply, probably gearing up for another rant. But I cut her off. You know, I've been thinking. Maybe it's time Kyle stepped up. I mean, he lives there rent-free, right? Seems fair. She actually laughed. Laughed. Like I'd just told the world's most ridiculous joke. Kyle, she scoffed. Oh, Nico, don't be ridiculous. He's not cut out for that kind of responsibility. Interesting, I muttered. So, because I was the responsible one, I was expected to carry the burden? And Kyle gets rewarded for being useless. You've always been the dependable one, she sniffed. You knew how to handle things. Kyle just. I chuckled, cold and sharp. Got it. So I got punished for being dependable, and he got a free ride for being helpless. Thanks for confirming. Nico, stop being dramatic. Oh, you haven't seen dramatic yet, I said brightly. Tell you what, I'll do you a favor. I'll make a call. She paused. What kind of call? I'll call the bank, I said. Right now. Her breath hitched. You will. I smiled. Yep. I'll ask them exactly how long you've been behind on payments. Because let's be honest, this didn't start when I stopped paying. Dead silence. I leaned back in my chair, savoring the moment. Oh, didn't think I'd catch that? I'd bet you've been falling behind for months, just hoping I wouldn't notice. Her breathing was shaky now. Nico, I wonder, I said, just how much of my money actually went toward the house, and how much just disappeared. No, Nico, listen. Oops, I said, faux cheerful. Gotta go. You know how it is, lots of calls to make. And I hung up. I could picture the scene, Mom panicking, Dad pacing, Kyle still glued to the couch, finally realizing he might have to grow up. But I wasn't finished. Not even close. The second I hung up, the calls started flooding in. Messages, missed calls, voicemails, all of them piling up. It was kind of funny. One day I'm kicked out like trash. The next, they're frantically trying to reel me back in. Too late. Instead, I opened my banking app. I started scrolling through the years of transfers I had made to them, month after month, year after year. Thousands upon thousands of dollars. And if the mortgage was falling apart now, what the hell had they been doing with all that money before? That question burned in my mind as I made one final call. Not to them, to the bank. It took a few minutes to get connected to someone, but when I did, I used my calmest, most professional voice. Hi, I used to handle the mortgage payments for my parents. I recently stopped and just wanted to check on the current status. They asked a few questions to confirm my info, then placed me on hold. When the representative came back, her answer nearly made me burst out laughing. Sir, she said, the account has been delinquent for nearly 8 months. 8 months. I ran a hand through my hair and tried not to whistle aloud. So you're telling me that even while I kept sending them cash, they weren't using it to pay anything off? There was a pause on the line. It appears that way, yes. That was gold. I ended the call with a slow, spreading grin. Oh, they were toast. But I wasn't done yet. I took a deep breath, and, for the first time since this entire mess kicked off, I called Liam back. The phone barely rang once before he answered. Brent. Finally. You need to fix this. Hey, quick question, I cut in. Where do you think all that money I sent actually went? Silence. I kept going. The bank told me they haven't received a full mortgage payment in 8 months. So where's the money, Liam? There was a long pause. I don't know what you mean, he muttered. I snorted. Come on, man. You live there. You never noticed Mom and Dad spending more? Trips? New gadgets? Where'd it go? He stammered. Why does that even matter? The point is, I cut him off. They were lying. They let me keep footing the bill while they pocketed whatever they could. And now that the faucet's shut off, they're panicking. Another beat of silence. Then Liam sighed through the phone, frustrated. You don't get it, Brent. They're our parents. They needed help. Oh, believe me, I said, letting the sarcasm drip. They made that clear every month. Over and over. You're being heartless, Liam shot back. You're just letting them suffer. No, I said coolly. I'm letting them deal with the fallout of their own stupidity. I could almost hear his teeth grinding. But before he could toss another guilt trip at me, I hit him with the knockout blow. You know, I said, I actually almost felt bad for them. Almost. But after learning they'd been lying to me for nearly a year, they can figure this out without me. You're making a huge mistake, he growled. I smirked. Guess we'll see. And then I hung up. I didn't even have time to toss my phone down before it lit up again. Mom. Obviously. I let it ring. Then again. Then again. Finally, a text popped up. Mom. We need to talk. Now. I smiled as I typed back. Me. Oh, now I'm family again. That's cute. Almost instantly, she fired back. Mom, stop this. You're ruining everything. I cracked my knuckles, grin spreading. Ruining everything? No. I was just getting started. I leaned back into the couch and stared at my screen as message after message from both her and Dad continued flooding in, each one more frantic than the last. Then another one buzzed through, this time from Dad. Dad, I can't believe you're doing this. After everything we've done for you, you're just going to let us lose the house? What kind of son are you? I scoffed. That line again. After everything we've done for you. If I had $1 for every time they weaponized that phrase, I could have bought the house myself. But not this time. This time, I wasn't buying it. I opened my messages and typed slowly, deliberately. Me. Funny. I was just wondering the same thing. You both keep asking what kind of son I am, but I'm the only one who's been paying attention. I didn't skip payments. I didn't ignore problems. Maybe it's time you two clean up your own mess. I hovered over send, then paused. Deep breath. This wasn't just about money anymore. This was about finally taking the reins back. I hit send. Seconds later, my phone buzzed again, this time a call from Dad. I picked up on the third ring, steadying my tone. Brent, this isn't you, he said quickly. We raised you better. You know we've always been there for you. I let out a bitter chuckle. Really? Because all I remember is you being there when it was convenient. I've paid your bills, covered for you more times than I can count. But when I needed anything, nothing. Crickets. And now I'm the ungrateful one. Silence. Then finally, his voice cracked. I'm sorry. We messed up. But please, we need your help. We're not going to make it without you. I tapped my fingers on the armrest, slow and deliberate. No, Dad. You're going to have to figure this out yourselves. You've lived off me long enough. This isn't my problem anymore. Please, he begged. We'll pay you back. We swear. I actually laughed. Really? When? Where's that payback been hiding all these years? Another silence. Then he tried again. Brent, I'm sorry. You've been more generous than we deserved. I took advantage of that. But don't let us lose the house. This place is everything. I sighed. It was a weak, worn-out plea, one I'd heard too many times to count. But this time, it didn't land. No, I said simply. You're going to learn how to live without my wallet. I'm done. I ended the call before he could respond. It wasn't a win. It was a release. And just as I set my phone down, another message buzzed in. Mom, you don't understand. You'll regret this. You'll see how far this will go. We need you, Brent. Don't let this destroy everything. I rolled my eyes. She still didn't get it. They both thought I was some tool to be yanked off the shelf whenever things got hard. I fired back without hesitating. Me, you've had more than enough time. I'm not your backup plan. Handle your mess. Then I shut my phone off. It felt like I had shed a skin I'd been suffocating in for years. Still, deep down, I had a feeling this wasn't the end. Now I turn to you, everyone reading this. Did I cross a line? Was there another way I should have handled it? Or did I finally make the right move, cutting them off and forcing them to clean up the mess they made? Let me know what you think.